Hi, GCDs. Mima Olivia Aquaba. Hadia latest and hot news in Kwan and I'm a Bremo. Anuti, Sabunya subscriber ya. Omodian say over subscribe to the channel. The way I say over click a subscribe button. Now a belly notification. Where is a new video be upload when the first person of Sabeka ASR video. I feel we are now like video and give us a thumbs up. Now feel share my Ato Forson when you be here now and some Koso Ghana Memohano. I feel your bura a summer veto yeposo. Yeti a yes, Uncle Moya Kosi Sassimi about to Yeti home.
I mean, I'm being fair to her. She would have even taken another look at the secular to refresh her memory.
But there's a point she made in the course of a thing by emphasizing the. I mean, the impression I got was that she was looking at things from a hierarchical order. That look, you can't escalate a secular when people are talking about
yes,
the constitution.
She's right in that.
Yes,
she's right in that.
Yes.
But what gave birth to the secular? The highest law of the land. Article 117 and 118. That is why the title of the secular is enforcement of Articles 117 and 118. The Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, has provided for how the speaker should be served. And when he's attending parliament, or on his way to parliament or from parliament, you can't serve him. And you has given a direction to bailiffs and officers of the court on how they can serve processes on the speaker without violating 117. You understand? So this is not an issue of somebody, the speaker, elevating a secular above legality. Because the speaker is relying on Article 117, which is a constitutional provision. This secular is only an administrative action by the Chief Justice to guide the judicial service to prevent a situation where they breach 117 and 118 of the Constitution. So you get my point. So nobody is elevating a secular above a constitutional statutory provision or the principle of legality. That's number one. Number two, let's even say that is what the speaker was doing. At least in interpreting the document, give the correct interpretation. This is the document that is coming from the Chief Justice. This is the Judicial Secretary signing on behalf of the Chief Justice. In view of the foregoing, the Honorable Lady Chief Justice has therefore directed, and the Chief Justice is in copy. Why would the Chief Justice lie this way? Is she Chief Justice or Chief of Injustice? Why?
Okay.
This is a sacrilege. This is disgraceful.
Doc, these are very sad times for our democracy and for the good people of this country. You know, since this matter broke, specifically since the Supreme Court made its strange order for stay of execution of the ruling or communication from the Speaker declaring 4 seats vacant, I have deliberately decided not to comment on this matter. And so I have not discussed the matter on any platform. I have not commented on it. I've declined all calls from media organizations to comment on this matter. Because, Doc, as a Ghanaian and as a lawyer, honestly speaking, I am fatigued about the injustice that is persistently being done by the apex court of the land, the Supreme Court. I'm fatigued. I'm tired. It is frustrating. It is draining. It is depressing to read the kind of decisions that are coming out of the Supreme Court of Ghana. Sometimes when you see some of the things they say, you become nauseous as a lawyer. And you ask yourself, is this the Supreme Court of Ghana? Is the Supreme Court interested in justice? Are they interested in upholding the rule of law? So it's become so draining, and so I have decided to just focus on the campaign. But you see, though, what happened in the Supreme Court yesterday, and some of the pronouncements, the court, speaking through the Chief Justice who presided, said cannot be allowed to just pass like that. And so I'm breaking my own, determination or my own bond not to comment on matters emanating from the Supreme Court, to comment on this matter. Because look, I have never seen the kind of injustice we saw yesterday, that the Supreme Court can actually lie. Okay? In fact, let me single out the Chief Justice. Let me place emphasis on the Chief Justice. That the Chief Justice who has authored a document and happened to be the one presiding could actually lie about a document she herself authored.
What lie did she tell?
Look, I want to demonstrate to those who have been, disputing some of the things we in the NDC have said about the bias of Chief Justice Getrude Torkornoo and the Supreme Court. I want to demonstrate this with simple facts that will leave no objective mind in doubt that what Getrude Torkornoo CJ is doing is not law. It's the desecration of justice and the rule of law. Simplicity. Look, yesterday on the issue of service, whether or not at the time Speaker Bagbin delivered that communication to Parliament declaring the said 4 parliamentary seats vacant, he had been served with a writ from the Supreme Court by the plaintiff, Afenyo Markins, was a very important issue for determination in the matter or in the application that came before the Supreme Court yesterday, and in fact in their own ruling. And the reason why the issue of service is important is that the Supreme Court, one of the primary responsibilities of the Supreme Court is to enforce and interpret the Constitution. But the emphasis here is on the enforcement of the Constitution. The Constitution as a whole, not just one article. And Article 117, that is 117 of the Constitution, says that no process from any court includes the Supreme Court, or any place out of Parliament can be served on or executed against the Speaker, an MP, or the Clerk of Parliament when they are on their way to Parliament, they are attending at Parliament, or they are on their way from Parliament. That is the Constitution. You can't serve any process on any court on them on their way to Parliament, when they are in attendance at Parliament, or when they are leaving Parliament. And the Supreme Court is supposed to enforce this. So if you serve any process on the Speaker of Parliament when he is attending Parliament, or when he's on his way to Parliament or from Parliament, that service is unconstitutional. It's not proper service. Now, in recent time, the Speaker has been concerned about officers of the court, from the registry of the court, bailiffs, serving processes on MPs, clerks, and the Speaker against this constitutional provision, which makes them liable for contempt of Parliament. But because the Speaker believes in a harmonious coexistence of all the 3 arms of government, and doesn't want to be seen as citing bailiffs of the courts for contempt, for breaching these provisions and all that, he wrote to the Chief Justice, drawing her attention to this and said, look, the way and manner bailiffs are serving processes on the Speaker MPs and all that. It's against the constitution. It's not right. You are the head of the judiciary. You exercise that administrative authority over the entire judiciary, which includes the registries, the bailies, and all that. So let's resolve this matter. Then this current CJ, the previous CJ had done something in that area, but let's talk about the current CJ, Getrude Torkornoo. On the 12th of July 2024, wrote this circular to Speaker Bagbin. Before I tell you what is in this circular, I have given a short video, just 1 minute 30 seconds or something, 27 seconds, to Annie on what Madam Justice Getrude Torkornoo said for and on behalf of the Supreme Court on this issue of the circular and what is in her own circular and the meaning of what is in her own circular. So, Doc, if Annie can just play that video for starters.
Let's watch it.
If Annie can just play that video for starters.
Let's watch it.
B. Honorable
grant of orders beyond 10 days. The Speaker's lawyer urges that because of Order 25 Rule 18 of the High Court Civil Procedure Rules 2004 CI 47, that the processes of court had been set through the legal department of Parliament, and this had been brought to the notice of the Speaker. He bantered extensively on this information with the plaintiff on the floor of Parliament. And the Speaker's only reason for choosing to quarrel with the summons from the Supreme Court, an application for injunction to restrain him from ruling on a matter premised on interpretation of Article 97(1)(g), was that as Speaker, he was only supposed to be served with court processes on Monday. This is an unfortunate interpretation of the first column of the circular referred to, because this circular provides for the Speaker of Parliament to be served personally on Mondays and through the legal department of Parliament on any day. But whatever interpretation of the circular that the Speaker chose to put on how he was to be served, the Supreme Court is satisfied that the Speaker was well served with notice of the action that had been started on 15th October 2024 and seeking the correct interpretation of Article 97(1)(g) of the Court, that the processes of court had been served through the legal department of Parliament, and this had been brought to the notice of the Speaker. He bantered extensively on this information with the plaintiff on the floor of Parliament. And the Speaker's only reason for choosing to quarrel with the summons from the Supreme Court, an application for injunction to restrain him from ruling on a matter premised on interpretation of Article 97(1)(g), was that as Speaker, he was only supposed to be served with court processes on Monday. This is an unfortunate interpretation of the first column of the circular referred to, because this circular provides for the Speaker of Parliament to be served personally on Mondays and through the legal department of Parliament on any day.
Good.
3, 2, 1. So what about this?
So the Chief Justice is interpreting her own circular. She says that the interpretation put on the circular by the Chief Justice is unfortunate.
By the Speaker.
By the Speaker is unfortunate. And that if you check the first column of that circular, the Speaker is supposed to be served personally only on Mondays. But the legal department of the parliamentary service can be served on any other day.
Yes.
So, Doc, I brought 3 copies of the circular. One for Kuboy. One for you. This is the circular. No, give it to Doc. No, give it to him. Then one for me. And Annie has a soft copy of the circular. So, Annie, can you kindly put the circular on the screen? Let everybody see it. Chief Justice says, per the circular,
the speaker can only be served personally only on Mondays. She says the first column. But when it comes to the legal department, on any other day of the week. Look, I need not read the preceding paragraphs for the sake of time. But let me read it quickly. This is what the document says. To all registrars of the court and bailiff, circular. The date is 12 July 2024. Enforcement of Article 112 and 118 of the Constitution. Immunity from service of process and arrest. It says enforcement of Article 117 and 118. The Honorable Lady Chief Justice's attention has been drawn by the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament to potential breaches by actions of some officers and some persons acting on behalf of the Judicial Service of Article 117 and 118 of the 1992 Constitution. Articles 117 and 118 of the Constitution provides that, she quotes that. Then she continues, these provisions ensure that the office holders listed above may not be served any process of court or compelled to appear as a witness in court unless Parliament is not in session or the Speaker so satisfies that the office holder in question is not on his way to, attending, or returning from any proceedings of Parliament. Attention has also been drawn to a circular issued on 22nd February 2021. The Honorable Lady Chief Justice is informed that there have been attempts to serve court processes of members of Parliament. She continues, I need not read all. In view of the foregoing, Annie, can we have the page 2 on the screen? In view of the foregoing, the Honorable Chief Justice has therefore directed that in serving processes to the above mentioned officials, the following should be adhered to henceforth. Now, the woman says if you check the first column of this circular, the Speaker can only be served personally only on Mondays, and the legal department served on any other week. As a Yanyako school, we know what a column is. Check the first column. What is a column? The column is the vertical part. So you see, in their haste to dismiss the application, they even confuse column with row. Obviously, what he was talking about was the first row, the horizontal. Look, Alai, look at the first row. Number 1, personality or institution to be served, Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament. How service should be effected? Look, this is it. All court processes should be served on the legal department of the parliamentary service. Acceptable times of service, Mondays during working hours. Mondays during working hours. Where in this column, row or circular, is it written that for the Speaker of Parliament, he can be served personally on only Mondays, but for the legal department on any other day of the week? Where is it written? Madam Getrude Torkornoo, where is it written?
So when you look at 2 and 3,
yes,
the one to the clerk to Parliament,
yes,
and members of Parliament,
yes,
when you look at those 2,
yes,
you will see that where the intent, yes, of the circular, yes, was to indicate that they could be served on days other than Monday.
It is stated.
It is stated.
Because you see, when you are suing Parliament...
So first of all, they state Tuesday to Friday.
Exactly.
And they state the time.
Exactly.
So
7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
So that if the intent was that you could serve the Right Honorable Speaker personally.
It is not even there. There is no part of this this column or whatever.
On Mondays.
And serve legal department on any other day.
It will be stated.
And
then if the intent was that you can serve the Speaker on Monday, but you can serve the Speaker through
the legal department on any other day,
on Tuesday to Friday, just like it's in 2 and 3.
It would have been stated. Because when you are suing Parliament, or if you are serving a process on Parliament, you serve the clerk. And when you are serving the clerk, the Chief Justice says you can do it on Mondays or any other day of the week. That is, other weekdays, Tuesday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
They give you a time.
7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And then for members of Parliament, on Mondays, because MPs don't work on Mondays. usually. They don't work on Mondays. And then on Tuesdays to Fridays, by 7 to 8, Parliament is not sitting. So that agreement, you know, because the Speaker and the MPs could have even argued that by 7 we would have been on our way to Parliament. So it would have been impossible to serve them. But they have all come to this.
So you see that even
compromise position.
You see that even the Speaker, when Parliament on recess is not even applicable to him.
No.
Yeah.
When Parliament is on recess, you
it's
can
not
serve
even applicable.
You can only serve the Chief Justice in this circular never made any provision for serving anything personally on the Speaker.
Yes.
This document says the only way you serve the Speaker, and just if you can, we can see the first row. The only way you can serve the Speaker is to serve the legal department of the parliamentary service, and you can do that only on Mondays.
Yes. So there's nothing like a personal service on him.
Why will a woman who is Chief Justice author this document herself? I'm sure that when they retired into chambers to write their ruling.
Okay. Don't insinuate, just make a point.
Yes, I'm sure that, I mean, I'm being fair to her. She would have even taken another look at the circular to refresh her memory.
But there's a point she made in the course of the thing by emphasizing the. I mean, the impression I got was that she was looking at things from a hierarchical order. That look, you can't escalate a secular when people are talking about the Constitution.
She's right in that.
Yes.
She's right in that.
Yes.
But what gave birth to the secular? The highest law of the land. Article 117 and 118. That is why the title of the secular is Enforcement of Articles 117 and 118. The Constitution, which is the supreme law of the land, has provided for how the Speaker should be served. And when he's attending Parliament, or on his way to Parliament or from Parliament, you can serve him. And you has given a direction to bailiffs and officers of the court on how they can serve processes on the Speaker without violating 117. You understand? So this is not an issue of somebody, the Speaker, elevating a secular above legality. Because the Speaker is relying on Article 117, which is a constitutional provision. This secular is only an administrative action by the Chief Justice to guide the judicial service to prevent a situation where they breach 117 and 118 of the Constitution. Look, so you get my point. So nobody is elevating a secular above a constitutional statutory provision or the principle of legality. That's number one. Number two, let's even say that is what the Speaker was doing. At least in interpreting the document, give the correct interpretation. This is a document that is coming from the Chief Justice. This is the Judicial Secretary signing on behalf of the Chief Justice. In view of the foregoing, the Honorable Lady Chief Justice has therefore directed, and the Chief Justice is in copy. Why would the Chief Justice lie this way? Is she Chief Justice or Chief of Injustice? Why?
Okay.
This is a sacrilege. This is disgraceful.
You have no right to usurp on it and say that decision should be, hanging. It should be held on. Because from the MPP or more constitution, which I believe strongly say, they drew inferences from the 1992 constitution regards Article 97 clause 1G and H, right? Enti anu no modi be share omod and omodi ya di dwuma na ya no makoye reference say time amaka tell you no na dia buy so NDC ebi to omo. Did you hear say NDC actual letter command then speaker say on pam no ana say onyi no fi parliament ana say bibisa? They were silent. Mo na makope mo ho asem o tiny a friend say minhu dia menka no nti mo President Ankasa Eko Formina MP in Peswa so Eko ye campaign etia no. Say of friends or person in the Kasa was one man into a month to a bentiano. General Secretary then Ura John Boadu and so by says so when a crop of our win. Yam pe woni wa juma because they were cocksure say nipa no omode ne kwa impose on formina for no omode atu asiama no obenwene ena yekoto abena santan asiama ne no ohuro gina wo kom ena mo ankasa mo akofa kuntura asese omabua mo na mo ndi mudwuma ena mpanso negotiations e course ne normal de yenim but at least the better odwade yenim say omaye pamon constituency chairman Emma chairman so the country say what's me step down there any mam so to make an mame na the ono for me na MP no wonya ye esuma sem ye te ha no ye nim right we cannot even allege so wonya bibi ana so wonya bibi but ye nyina na ye te o mamu ye nim de ekoso right inti say we sida na say biasi amamra na ka ho asem this people and na mo anka some constitution so ka ho asem people sina ye didi mo a mo say da ye dimnika eko Supreme Court ako interpret say ye hear interpretation mami asem emina I will not be surprised say speaker mu bie parliament he will have his version so see in the minds of the former majority no omufi said they are still majority because Supreme Court I can say you hold on. Don't forget say San Crawford seat was declared vacant by the speaker. Owura former MP no siama ono so ne seat was declared vacant by a speaker. They declared it vacant no na omba parliament. And these people no they are very much aware of the consequences of coming to sit in parliament. You almost maho. Until they know that their seat would automatically, once they have declared their intention to contest independent or to join a party, they have forfeited their membership to their parties or to their independency. Until one can say, maho. Until who can say, you hold on. Do you or are you insinuating say they should come back to parliament, Anna? So yes, sir, have you adjudicated justice onto this issue? You cannot call somebody who has forfeited his or her membership of the party that brought him or her to parliament. Baby say on Simra when indeed he is still not part of the party. It doesn't make sense to me as a layman. Into omodi omo famra no wadre na etu yonko hu awse etu aduam na omodi omo nkone saa na emre ye ninka so bibia wone mre enna me ne obi wo station ba kwa no pa wose mo be hu mo de mo te ha mo be hu de besi ye meetings na numbers no ye be make sure say Ghana Freedom Party omo stand ye be shift number na ho na mo be because ye that number 1 that oh person mo de panidi
anka utumre na nka wa kire si bonidin
mame me ko station bia no pa opa me body station di ama because ha enye omo nti na me mo ba me de ma wa na wo de me no ti ha ya me de ma wa hu na wa ye wa ko mo start this morning's program and na nipa de kan say omo me de minim de me kan
na wo betim the station any time amadia set you ka check you be wo dipa
that be say
anybody back road
and make sure station where different from that station
and yes station yes body back road
massa me Wednesday me Cóurt nti ye fa
on be Cóurt fu fro me see the one more for
me wo de de me ko ma me ko no bra na me show me hafa nti mami Chief Justice Torkornoo ne rulings or the buy am Jerry boy ni nyina na say Net FM mo bo ni nyina no pa no me tie sadam say aya na sometimes ye tie kire ye ni legal background no na ye aye te say na nye bia ma be say hu ni pa ye ne yodon otu bi hu enti be meti ha no madwa emprekisin yo say can that can ye na play out na say dey because mo yesa e ma yanji mundi o say mame wo dey ma emfa jechi question case no kranya example Supreme Court to say and I said Attorney General work ye oman ye lawyer no was emfa no mra court da bia mame that end of ye first akwa omuku ni JB danko adukura nipa ya che ye demba court every day mo se jechi question omra court every day me wa mo nkasa mo nim se papa ne ye bibia pepe ba for the sake of COVID and ade delay kakra Any excuse. It is enough excuse for you to blame COVID on your woes regards the economy. And what imagine? Yamra Ura Jakpa ne Ura Kislato Forson so accepts. Look at the way I call it. Prekesi I bet told just Attorney General Kra or share Jakpa Kutupan. Say, Kokese na yenjao. And I said, person we say, and I said, Koji a hospital excuse duty. No, which way women are what Tiabontia. Now what they are two who say. So one crowd who has a kunya Samuel Cóurt, Mammy. A biana would be more. Now so called technicalities. And now say, Obi Nisika or Pentino, you bet me a buya as a material. Mammy, in conclusion, come here, say, in my opinion, I'm beginning to think, say, these days, no, your man for portfolio, they use it as a cash cow. Because you see, if it is the case that some people are being pushed to do things that are going on in this country, don't assume say they do it for free. Something must have changed hand. Anything any pardon because indeed, why do we want to turn it? One some His Excellency Dr. Nana Akufo Addo or Pamo Demolevono. Na Supreme Court and Asa Court no omo himself president need for. Also omo twintwa assembly so omo afa offense atembo na mad down till about almost 3 years or so. And ombebu as a president need for na joye no unconstitutional. Sacha na nipa no koda dada sanke uwo bia wa wuda dada ko. You understand? Inti, I don't know how different the Supreme Court will interpret Article 97(1) clause H and
so let us wait for them to
exactly the case. But the most important is that we are waiting for what Bagbin will say when your friend is saying Parliament resumes or is open.
Someone should have a date in my time at Parliament. We almost see early November. Early November could be the first week.
Yo,
right?
Early November. When are the better?
I think
Supreme Court now directed say be early November.
No. Bagbin.
Or maybe ruling on that particular
on the issue, in early November. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm praying, say Supreme Court should make the ruling before Parliament.
They know the reasons how they know their date. They are more day here. Baby, they know what they are doing. High because young cannot correct the way we are seeing our setup, and assessor too much and another danko kufuado.
Yo, it is for winning and someone about the toy yaponoso make out say hi GC News and it so when subscribe for more than say over subscribe to the channel. Now feel so we are like a video give us a thumbs up now feel share my Ato Forson now when you be here and say had yet latest and hot news kwa enamide premo also betting me otchere Gyamfi and so we now I will comment boxing mobati make a video in my next video.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.